Jedi. I'm on you!
Need an assist!
You're quick. You won't get through. I'll have to try harder. You aren't quick enough.
PD, stim!
You can't keep that up. Just wing me.
Yep, it's a pretty damn good time to be a Star Wars fan right now. The Mandalorian has blown my mind on Disney Plus, and I came home from my trip to Japan to be able to play through Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn and Electronic Arts, and it has also blown me away.
Yes! Kill him! You get the hang of it quick!
This is a game that was a really tricky one for Respawn to demo at E3. And remember how sort of vague they were with the announcement at EA Play, I think in 2018. They just sort of said the title and we didn't see anything. And then they showed it a little bit at E3, but it was a hard one to kind of like get you hyped for, because this is a granular game. This is a game where you have to revel in the details and dig in and understand the mapping that your little robot buddy BD1 will give you, so you can kind of figure out your bearings within the constraints of the entertainment, which is very much like an intelligent hybrid of Metroid and the Souls type games and an Uncharted type experience and a God of War. Like, it takes from some of the best games that we've ever played and, much like Arkham Asylum did a number of years ago, fuses them into something new and incredibly accessible and incredibly well made. This is a very professional production. The voice acting led by Cameron Monaghan, who played the Velasquez twins on Gotham. He is Cal Kestis, this new Jedi in training.
Everything that moves here is trying to kill me.
I love this sort of crisscross between the after effects of Order 66 and sort of taking us into the new rebellion, expertly kind of interwoven there by the use of a younger Saw Gerrera, which I think is a fantastic character. I loved him in Rogue One, so it was great to see Forrest Whitaker and that character in this game again as well.
Hey! Who are you?
There's a lot of flashback sequences, playable flashback sequences, which are done incredibly well at the same kind of quality level that we get throughout the entirety of the game. We go back in time and we understand the nuance to Cal and some of what made him the Jedi that he is becoming in this game. Because you start off not really understanding all of your powers and not understanding everything that you're capable of, which makes for great game design because you're unraveling and unlocking all of these new traits and skills as you go in a very intelligently designed way. And it feels fair, and it feels fun, and it feels compelling, and you sit and you watch every cutscene and you hang on every word, and all of it matters, which is really incredible. Great voice cast all the way through here, and lots of great characters that we meet, like the two shipmates that are on the Mantis with Cal. We've got Seer and we've got Grease, and both of those actors are terrific, and they're great foils for Cal. There's lots of excellent repartee between them.
I would be very careful, Cal.
And we also get fantastic villains like the Second Sister and all of the evil creations that are on Dathomir, which is this kind of undead world that we get to visit. It's very creepy and very infused with demonic imagery. This is a game about exploration as much as it is about combat. It's a great balance between finding your way through this tricky environment where at first the shortcuts aren't immediately obvious and you may have to kind of back route it back to a door that opens up so that you can fast track it from one objective to another. Otherwise, you have to kind of navigate through this world but also battle enemies that will become increasingly more difficult. Of course, you're going to be fighting stormtroopers of every variant, and you're going to be fighting these darker troopers as well with more plasma-infused weaponry. And you'll go up against these K2SO-like security droids with giant wingspans, these giant sort of NBA basketball player reaches that they can just sort of grapple around you and pick you up and throw you down. They're very intimidating. You're going to be battling AT-STs and all kinds of other creatures and things that will legitimately spook you.
Now the fear creeps in. I like that.
Some unbelievably cool power-ups scattered throughout the entirety of this incredibly ornate game. There's lots of great little nooks and crannies and hidden treasures for you to find. Some of them are a little mundane, like being able to paint your ship a different color, although I did appreciate being able to paint my ship like Slave 1. I thought that was pretty cool. You can also augment your lightsaber with lots of different customization options. You can change the switch, you can change the handle and the emitter, and it's super cool. So you find all of those little pieces in little treasure boxes that are scattered and hidden everywhere. Eventually learn how to swim and then swim underwater, so there's lots of beautiful plant life and undersea life as well, which is great. You also gain incredible abilities like the ability to scale up different walls and maybe a little bit later at a faster clip. I really loved exploring the planet Zepho, which had these incredible tombs. It was awesome, man. It felt almost like I was playing like a Jedi Tomb Raider game or a Jedi Uncharted game. There's lots of climbing up on walls and vines and things and swinging to ropes and then landing on a ledge properly or climbing underneath an obstruction that you can swing up on top of and then teeter and balance. Incredibly acrobatic and athletic and super fun to play, but it also maintains an authenticity and a real connection to what we know of Star Wars, augmenting the universe, giving us a chance to explore worlds that we haven't really been able to do in the movies and the television shows. You can, of course, learn to double jump and force push and force pull, and you learn all kinds of incredible combat attacks with your lightsaber. There are some production stumbles along the way, some, weird clipping that might happen. I played this game on PC, and I also checked it out on the Xbox One X, and on the PC, it ran beautifully, but I had to update the hell out of everything. My OS, my NVIDIA GeForce card, I had to update the game. It just felt like I had to do a lot of stuff for it to run, but then it did run very, very well, and I streamed a whole bunch of it, and I had some of you guys watch some of it, which was great. But I did notice, even after it all had been updated and I was running everything very well for long stretches of time, every once in a while I would get some crazy slowdown or some weird stutter. I'm sure through patching and optimization it's going to get better, and probably that's the case across all of the platforms, although I haven't been able to play through every version of the game, of course. But I did notice there was some messiness in there. Also some messiness in some of the QuickTime events as well. Some of them, it felt a little bit kludged together. It felt like I was doing these crazy jump cuts in the middle of these QuickTime events to sort of progress the story and get you into the action beats, but it felt a little less polished than the majority of the game. Also, so there is some pop in on some of the textures and stuff like that, like the Wookiees that you'll meet will suddenly get a little bit more detail on them. I'm quibbling because for the majority of this game, you are going to marvel at the environmental effects. Even Dathomir, which is just caked in blood red hues and it's grimy and dirty and it's slippery muck, it looks great.
Try harder.
I was just really, really, really entertained. This felt like great Star Wars escapism. It does make me want the canceled Amy Hennig game very much. I also would love to see that Star Wars 1313 game that got canceled from LucasArts. I think this is fantastic that we got a single-player game here that isn't overloaded with all kinds of microtransactions. This is just a great piece of story-focused escapism in the Star Wars universe. And I know that there's a lot of hate that's directed towards EA and a lot of its recent kind of decisions with regards to the way they've been paying for games and getting games out to us. This is a fantastic step in the right direction, and if you are a Star Wars fan, I definitely encourage you to get this game and to send EA a message and to kind of send the industry a message that we want more of this type of design and this type of gameplay. This was phenomenal, and honestly, Respawn looks like one of the smartest acquisitions that EA has made. I'm going to give Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order a 9 out of 10.